Peace and love, family. We're doing another one, y'all. So we got some construction going on behind us, right around the corner from my place. Ultimately, uh, there's some new construction going on in our lives too. It's close to February 1st. Obviously, the new year just crossed over. The new year's actually about to happen in March. So think about that. They try to confuse you with the times. They try to make the times different. They try to change the history. They try to confuse the history. All of this stuff we actually know. Like, this is something that we know they actually consistently do. That's like their only real weapon is like dissolution of truth or dissolving truth so, for instance, there's this quote in Lord of the Rings. It's right at the beginning of episode 1 of number 1 of Lord of the Rings. Do the extended versions of all of them. There's so much more knowledge in them. But ultimately, at the very beginning, it says, for once was all is lost. So for once was is lost. For none who live who remember it. So none live who remember it. So what does that mean? They tried to make you forget through cutting off different branches of the vine. Okay, and they're going to test you, per se, of cutting off different branches of the vine. And two, it's going to be your test of ultimately going to the original vine, the OG inside of you that you cannot escape from, that you volunteered as a soul to build communion with this, or to have communion with God. Okay, like here now, that not everyone's going to be able to get. They're just not going to get it. They're not going to get it. The people didn't get Jesus either. Okay, so ultimately, there's some new construction going on in your life. One thing too, I'm also realizing as well, is the development of who I am as a being. Is I'm starting to take more than just one thing seriously, where I'm just taking my whole life seriously. And I know that with that, there's going to be a lot of benefit that comes with it. So, having a different mindset will put you on the mindset to be able to have large amounts of capital, large amounts of money, large amounts of prosperity, developing yourself, who you are, your mindset, your nutrition, your training, your style, like your mindset, your spirituality, your interconnectedness with the Lord, where it's everything but all the things that everybody thinks that it is. It's everything but all the things that people think that it is. One thing I also wanted to talk about, I've seen 3 police officers around me within a couple of miles. Obviously, there's some police over here who actually work over here, but 2, I also want to kind of give you the mindset of when you're a non-citizen or a U.S. national. So I'm a state national or a state citizen. I'm a Californian, a man on the land, living in California, on top of the land of California Republic. And so I'm of the Republic, of this great Republic. And one thing that I've realized is that I could do everything. So while being a living man, a lot of people ask me, what are some of the benefits? What are some of the benefits? I could do everything that a cop can do except all the illegal shit. So that is where I'm at, is like, there's more to just having dollars. And I'm not saying don't have lots of money. I'm saying that there's a place for that. But there has to be a reason for what you're actually doing, what you're actually investing in. And most people will think status is a Lamborghini, $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Like a big house, a hot wife, whatever. Some, like, those are just like the outer type of shell type of things, all right? But it's really like beyond that. What goes beyond that? And that's what we are educating. That's what we're learning. That's why we're here to have lessons. Because we have to go to the deeper things. The thing that we have to store up treasures in heaven. We have to store up treasures in heaven that it's not destroyed by rust or moth or bugs. or parasites or any lower thing that needs light. A moth goes towards the light, what, to live, of the bioluminescence of the light, of the luminary of the light. Okay, so this is directly connected for me, is that there's new construction going on in my life. There's a new car coming into your life. There's a brand new car right next to me. Maybe there's a new car coming into your life. Maybe there's a new house coming into your life. And you are already at the mindset where you don't necessarily need those things to make you feel like you're worth something, but you are attracting those as fruits, as first fruits, as production of what you've done to give other people balance, structure, to be able to give them dependability, to see that they can depend upon you. And then you're going to operate even in different types of structures, such as a private process structure, where and two, I will say that people are open to the fact that you're doing the process. Like, I'll be honest, people are they're open to the fact of, like, that's interesting or whatever. But when you start talking about other different things that they don't know, that's when fear comes, projection comes, stuff like that. And so I would say just withhold gold, withhold gold and silver and high valuable things that people value, because they're not meant for everybody, because people will tarnish those things instead of cherish those things. We're meant to be different. We're meant to have certain vibrations and meant to do certain things. Okay, so this comes with living an abundance of wealth, is that I could do everything literally a police officer could do. So I can carry, I can, and two, even with their types of laws, now they're even having open and stuff like that. But you could do a multitude of different things like this. You can set up your own private militias. That's what I'm saying. Like, technically, you could do everything. Like, if you think of what the constitutional rights are, is like, I have a right to bear arms, so I have a right to dissent. Like, just think about you and one other person that disagrees with you, like, that would try to, like, have a war or whatever. So what you would do is you would pretty much just say, like, I have the right to say what I want to say. I have the right to think the way that I want to think. I have the right to live where I want to live. Okay, I have those rights. That is the law. I have the right to breathe. I have, which is a soul's right to breathe, is what freedom is, the definition of soul's right to breathe. Okay, and then breath, you can go even deeper into what is breath. Ruach is the Holy Spirit. That's why it's a soul's right to breathe, because the spirit is the only thing that gives us the right to breathe. But people, that'll go over their heads. They won't see the law in it. They won't see ecclesiastical law in it. They won't see those different types of things. Well, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. So the main process is that you have to see the vibration that you're on. You have to see the vibration that you're on, and you have to continuously just build upon that vibration day after day, moment by moment. Build momentum and cultivate momentum. Brighten those moments every single day. And eat clean, train, remain sober, be, strengthify your life, but also be in the right mindset, be in the right standing, the good standing too. And so, like, a lot of this is like, carry the passport, become a minister, set up your plates, set up your US dot plates, or set up private process with a trustee, have a trustee card to, a trust, and be entrusted to this vehicle, which is connected to this trust, and operate that way. But you can take it a step further and just do the US DOT, Department of Transportation, or a dot number, and you can do it as a minister. Okay, and so you can cultivate it through that route as well, and that's a way that you can travel private within your automobile. And this is a very important thing too, because once you do this, that's like the biggest question, is like, you're not really doing things off the book when you're at home, because you're just buying assets or acquiring assets through the trust, through the EIN. So you just have to learn how to operate in commerce, and you got to do it better, and you got to clear your slate. You got to clean your old slate of who they thought you were, who you thought you were, the all caps name, straw man, all these different things, and you just have to become the power of attorney over that. That's it.